Why is it that the largest screen that we own, our TVs, is the dumbest screen that we own? Think about it. Our smartphones, tablets, laptops, and desktops all have smaller screens, yet are smarter and more useful in our day-to-day lives. But our TVs are only used for mind-numbing entertainment like movies, TV shows, and gaming. I've been working for the past 7 years to bring the TV on par with our other smarter devices to not only give the best in entertainment, but also communication, education, and getting work done. And I think I've created my best work yet. And I'm codenaming this one Project Kauai, a powerful, semi-silent, 4K gaming, Windows 10, home theater PC. I had 3 objectives for this build. 4K gaming at 60 frames per second for AAA titles, as silent as possible without compromising on performance, and it has to fit and look nice under my TV. Let's take a look at the parts that help me achieve these goals. Let's get the bottom row out the way first. The motherboard is the ASRock Z270M ITX AC. This is a mini ITX motherboard, which is the perfect size for this build. This board stood out because of the M.2 slot for storage is on top and not on the bottom of the board. It would be a pain to replace an SSD on the other side of this board. This build has 16 gigabytes of DDR4 2133 G.Skill memory and a 1 terabyte Samsung 850 EVO M.2 SSD. Also, I had to use a PCIe razor to connect the GPU to the PCIe slot. Now for the star components of this build. The chassis is the sexy sandblasted all aluminum Straycom FC10 Alpha. But this case is more than good looking. It acts as a heat sink to cool the CPU using copper heat pipes to transfer heat to its side fans. This helped me avoid using a CPU fan, and I hate CPU fans. They are super loud and they never stop spinning. Also, I had to modify this chassis a bit. I used a local metal fabrication company to get vent holes cut in the top of the FC10 to add extra ventilation for this case. This was necessary because of overheating. Also, I had to remove the drive cage to fit other parts. The chassis will be cooling the Intel Core i7 7700. I chose this CPU because of its 4K capabilities, and its TDP is 65 degrees Celsius, which is recommended for this case. The next 2 parts are very crucial for this build, not only because of their brawn, but also because of their ninja-like capabilities. See, the Zotac GeForce GTX 1080 Ti Amp Edition and the Corsair SF600 have passive modes, which means these fans don't spin at idle to medium loads. This system is completely silent at idle, browsing the web, and fans barely spin when playing 4K video. When I am gaming, fans do kick in, but I barely notice because the volume is so loud and I'm into my game. Let's get into some stress tests, temps, and power consumption. All right, guys, I'm approaching the end of my stability test. This is IDA 64, and you can see this has been running for almost 2 hours, and things have been stable since probably the 30-minute mark. My temps are pretty high. Highest is 89 degrees Celsius, which is pretty hot, but it's not bad for this type of chassis. And my power draw for reference is 195. I do have OBS running in the background. Before that, it was probably at about 115 or so. And this is my indoor temperature. 68 degrees. And I'm getting probably about 45 degrees Celsius, 46 degrees Celsius as the hottest external temperature. And that's, I can actually hold my hand on the case. It's pretty warm. Yeah, but not bad. All right, this is my GPU stress test with firmware. You can see it's been running for almost 15 minutes. I'm not seeing much thermal throttling. I have been at my max temperature at 84 degrees for a while. You see the graph here, and it got up to 85 Celsius, but it runs pretty good. And my power draw is around 242, 46, 250. See, it's fluctuating up and down. And external temperature is pretty good. Not a hot box at all. Alright, now I'm doing a total power consumption test. I have firmware, CPU burner, and the GPU stress test running at the same time. And that should be my total power consumption, which is hovering around 365 to 355. So there we go. This is a system at idle with the screen off, and that's pretty doggone low. This is a system at idle with the screen on. So around 40, sometimes 39 watts. Now let's get into some benchmarks. This is the results for the Heaven benchmark. And for games, I tested NBA 2K18, GTA 5, and Witcher 3 with VSync on and VSync off. Because of the limitations of my 4K TV and HDMI 2.0, refresh rates don't go beyond 60 Hz. So games over 60 FPS will result in stuttering and screen tearing. VSync solves this problem by capping the FPS at 60. But I also wanted to test the system and how many FPS it could achieve in some games. So here we go. NBA 2K18 is one of those games that is rarely benchmarked, but I'm a NBA fan, and this is probably one of my favorite games. But it had no problems with this system at running at 60 frames per second. As you can see, for my average FPS with VSync on, we got 60 frames per second. And without it on, we had a bunch of headroom at 73 FPS. Next up, GTA 5 ran very well on high to ultra settings. As you can see, with VSync on, I was getting 60 FPS, and with it off, I had 116. So I had a lot of room to crank the settings up a little bit more. And with Witcher 3, a very demanding game, I turned everything up to ultra just to test my system. And as you can see, I got 43 FPS at ultra with Hairworks up to max, and only 43 FPS, but this is better than what any game console is capable of. So overall, Project Kauai has been an amazing journey for the past 2 years of trying to find the right parts and modifying those parts. And I think I may have created a new product category, semi-silent. I'm not sure if I've ever seen a PC that could do what this one does, as far as being quiet at idle to medium loads, but fans kicking in later. Yet Kauai is still a prototype and has some things that need to be worked on, like mounting down the PSU and finding a more elegant solution for the cord that's running out the back. But everything works perfectly for me and I achieved my goals. I have a full time-lapse video of the entire build. You can check it out here. And please let me know what you think about this build in the comment and if it's something that you may be interested in building yourself. I have more videos showing off what Kauai can do and the benefits of owning an HTPC. So please subscribe for more. Thanks for watching. Peace.